everybody, I'm Gabe from 368, and today I got the man of the hour, the man with the most butterest camera on all of Twitch, the senior director of partnerships over at Elgato. It is Miguel Lozada.
How you doing, man?
Doing good. Did I say your name correctly, Miguel? Your last name?
Yeah.
Had to add the little bit.
Lozada or Lozada. Lozada.
Had to add the flair to it. So
like Posada. Like Posada.
So everybody, if you don't know, so Miguel, like I said, is the senior partnership director over at Elgato. So he manages a lot of the relationship between creators and people who may want to get into streaming. And as you know, right now, as we are in the quarantine because of Corona, COVID-19, everybody is staying home and they're streaming more than ever. Miguel, how crazy has that been for you guys, you being like the stop for streaming equipment?
It's insane. Every day we see somebody we never thought would mention streaming. We got the girl from Game of Thrones today.
Well, which one?
The little Stark girl.
Oh, Arya Stark?
Yeah, that girl.
Macy Williams,
so
okay.
She says, she wants to do Animal Crossing. So she was asking her, general following, they're tagging us. So then now, obviously, we reached out to see how we can help. Yeah. But it's crazy. People you never think would ever stream or anything. Now you have nothing else to do, I guess, right? Yeah. It's essential.
It's just one of those things that everybody's doing. So Miguel, like you said, you have a bunch of interest coming into your equipment. Elgato, you guys make some of the best, if not the best. And the key lights are also my favorite. We're using them right now. So since Twitch has been on fire, we're seeing a record-breaking 4 million viewership on Twitch, like concurrent at any time. How are you guys handling the needs of the streaming community right now?
Trying to keep up stock. Realistically, that's probably our difficultest thing right now. It's just like stock is everybody wants our gear, right? People, non-gamers especially, right?
Yeah.
Executives, VIPs or VPs at companies now, big managers, directors, they want to do these Zoom calls and they want this look, right? They want this professional looking versus like a potato camera looking thing that, you can't even tell details, right? So it's one of those things where it's essential right now. It does make you look professional, right?
So you're also a streamer, Miguel, right? Like you actually actively are part of the community beyond just that. And I can see how you have, your camera setup. Dude, you got a little bokeh going on. That's definitely like a big camera. That's not a webcam. What do you got running on right now with your setup?
So I just have Gato Cam Link and then the Sony 5100 and a Sigma 1.6 lens and then 30 So that's the setup. Pretty basic. You usually need a dummy battery too, and then I'm using the Elgato mount to hold the camera in place, so I don't have to use like a big old tripod.
So if you had to put a price point on to get this look for your stream, how much would that cost?
It depends, right? I think I got my camera during Prime Day, so it was like $300. I think it runs currently at 400. So everything will probably cost you 600 when it's all said and done, but course, you pay for quality, you pay for what you're getting. So that's the key right there.
Especially when it comes to streaming, because if you have terrible audio and as well as video, it's like who's gonna sit around and like hang out and watch, right?
Right, and it's good. Like you've seen it, right? When you go full screen, we can see so much detail. People love it. They're like, wow. Versus if you go full screen, everything's blurry and kind of messed up. You really can't draw that.
I'm feeling that right now. I'm using the Logitech Brio instead of this big camera I have to the side right now, just because I didn't get the flex arm because you guys are sold out everywhere. People want that flex arm. I can't get the DSLR in the right angle.
Everybody wants our gear right now, so they're harder to get than Yeezys at this point. I feel like Yeezys are easier to cop right now.
What's been the hottest item?
Cam Link, probably Cam Link. I think Cam Link for sure, and HD60S Plus probably would be the second hottest for people that want to start streaming games and stuff. Yeah. But Cam Link definitely has been the focus, right? So a lot of Zoom calls. I join Zoom calls with people like in NBA, NFL, MLB, and as soon as they see my camera, they want to know, like, whoa, why do you look so good? Yeah, why is it that we all look so
It's not just genetic, right? It goes beyond that, right?
They were talking about me. They were talking about just the quality, right? So, they're definitely not talking about myself. But, yeah, every time, pretty much I just let the product speak for itself, right? Like I don't even have to really present the product in meetings. As soon as we start the call and they see my camera, they automatically just, okay, what we got to do?
So you just mentioned you're getting a lot of interest from pro athletes specifically, right? They look at your camera, they're like, yo, it's butter, the bokeh, everything. So what have been some of the more exciting and crazy athletes you've seen, you've been engaging with online?
Well, so I'm a big Dodger fan, so I'm helping out a lot of Dodgers, so that's pretty cool personally. But you're seeing everybody right now. Booker is getting back into it more. Ben Simmons has always been streaming. Those guys have been streaming a lot, but now they're really grinding it out, taking participation in like events, tournaments and stuff. So that's pretty cool to see. It's just like all around, just every sport. NHL guys are hitting me up. I totally forgot about the NHL until I started getting pinged about it. I was like, oh yeah, there's a hockey league.
That actually exists.
Yeah, I was like, all right, yeah, that's right. No, so you have NBA players starting up. They're doing the MLB season through MLB The Show starting this weekend. You'll be able to see that. So that's pretty dope too.
That's right. A lot of organizations are playing out their season online.
Right, and baseball has one player per team, so that's pretty big too, right? So they got every team involved and one person streaming.
Talk about the pressure, right? To be the representative of your team to play these games out.
Right. I mean, if you play bad, you're probably gonna hear from everybody, right? A lot of these guys are gamers, right? Like a lot of people don't realize that athletes, in between travel, being at hotels, being bored, they play a lot of video games. They're not as public about it.
Which is crazy now, because like with the internet, everything like whatever you're into is now so out there, like it's hard to avoid it. And like everybody of some walk of life plays a video game, whether it's Candy Crush, Clash Royale, MLB, Halo.
Right. So their gamer tags are usually like something random, right? Like Little Jimmy 22, and it's like Cody Bellinger. It's like that doesn't even match.
Like, dude, you're 6'9". We're like, what are you talking about, little Jimmy? What is this?
Little Jimmy.
So for any pro athletes that could be watching this right now, or any influencer in general, what's the best way to reach out to you, Miguel?
Twitter is probably the best. That's probably the easiest too. Email is always flooded with so many requests, but usually, what they need is just some guidance or some quick suggestions on their setup. So usually, hitting me up on Twitter with DM back and forth real quick. Yeah. I FaceTime some guys. Some guys are like, just say, hey, what's your cell? And then I think they're going to text me, and then they FaceTime me, and they want to make sure they have everything right. So then I just help them out real quick. So it's been pretty cool. But yeah, Twitter's the best route. For sure.
So here at 368, we're outfitting our storefront to be a streaming storefront. As you know, we're both in correspondence. We're now to get that to be the one-stop shop for a streamer in New York City to go and like start their career, get it going, and move it on. So what can you tell us are some of the basics out of the equipment that you've sent us that some people should be looking to get?
So obviously you need a capture card if you're doing any streaming. It's highly recommended. So you can always start bare minimum. You don't need the fancy 4K just to start off. The 4K is kind of sort of a preference, right? You don't need the highest quality. You can't even stream in 4K on Twitch if you're streaming on Twitch. So again, it's preference.
For those right here, bam, this is the 4K 60 Pro capture card.
Yep, that's the 4K. That's the internal. You can always start off with HD60S Plus though. That one's external. That will let you stream in 1080 and play in 4K, so you get the both worlds right there. Look at that; they're all fitted. And then, I realistically, that's what you need just to start. You don't need to go all out. You can build your setup. My setup is a 10-year process. Like I got to this point throughout 10 years. I just didn't start having like my setup this way right off the bat. I had an outdoor picnic table as my desk, laptop, a Dell laptop, and then just a capture card. And then eventually I got a webcam, and then eventually I got some lights, and eventually I got a green screen. You're gonna have to build it. Realistically, starting off with everything isn't gonna happen. So it's a growing thing. It evolves with you and your content. So
it's so funny that you say using an outside picnic table, because I have one of the block party cookout tables from my desk that folds up.
Yeah. It's like what it was. That's what it was. The fold up one.
Yeah, the little gray table. Yeah, that's the good stuff.
It was like $20, $30. I was like, might as well.
And then, you got to save space sometimes, so you got to close it up. So you mentioned webcams, right? Because one of the components of streaming is video camming, face cams, etc. Elgato specifically doesn't make a webcam at the moment. So what is your recommendation for someone who would be starting out?
I mean, anything you could afford, really. So my setup was about $600 setup, right? But you could always get a camcorder. Camcorders run cheaper than DSLRs as long as it has HDMI out. Yeah. Usually get one for about $200. So then you buy a Cam Link for about $120, $130, depending if it's on sale or not. Yeah. Right there, $300, you have a way better quality, because usually most webcams right now cost around, $100, $150, depending what you're getting. So if you just spend a little bit more, you get that better quality overall. So, it just depends on your budget, I would say. I actually don't even think, I personally don't think webcams are important when you're starting off, because I see so many guys streaming without it that have so many, followings and viewers consistently, right? Like it does help, if you want to get on that personal level. But I think obviously like just working on your consistency and, you know, actually just creating and streaming would be more important than a webcam.
So do you feel that audio is more important than video when it comes to streaming?
So for like a face cam?
No, just from like, you know, like when someone's playing Valorant right now, right? Like, and they don't have a face cam or they don't have a mic and they have budget to get one or the other. Which one would you get?
A mic, definitely a mic.
Okay.
A mic, you want to be able to at least engage with your audience, right? So at least with a mic, you could always, you know, answer chats or welcome somebody or thank somebody for something, right? So that way, you definitely need a mic. Mic quality to be probably a first versus webcam, just because, again, people can hear you better and stuff like that, and you'll be able to engage with them a little bit better.
So we were talking about gear right now, Miguel, and you, like we said, we're outfitting our streaming storefront, and a couple of things that I specifically asked to get from you guys, because I think that this is what somebody would want. We mentioned a little bit of that, the 4K 60 Pro, the Stream Deck, which is just like super clutch and essential. Then the more important one, especially if you already have a video camera, audio, is lighting, right? I got the Key Light right here, the Key Light Air. This is the newer one you guys make.
Yeah, the Key Light Air is pretty. It's cool because it has a base, right? So our first Key Light clamped onto your desk, and it was bigger and brighter. Those are the ones I use. But the Key Light Air is more, I think, universal for people that just want to do conference calls and need a better lighting and stuff. Definitely better for them overall. So,
and I think what's cool about your guys' lighting is that it all works on Wi-Fi too. Like once you get it on your network, you can control it from your phone.
Yeah, it's super clutch, right?
Yeah.
You can change it. I can change mine right now if I wanted to. I just open up the app, and right now I'm super cool, right? But if I want to be like super warm,
yeah,
it could be super warm. I could be like in the middle. I could turn down the brightness, make it a little bit more, you know, different. So then that's it. That's pretty much it.
So when you guys gonna make it? And when are you guys gonna make a piece of equipment that lets people use their phone as their webcam? Like when is that coming, Miguel? You got to get that going.
Technically, you could do that.
You can.
Technically, that is like a hack or something, right? We have an app called Screen Link. So what that does is you download it on your phone, and it will push to game capture, especially on Mac. So you open it, game capture software up on Mac, and then you put it'll mirror your phone, right? So you can put your camera on facing you, and then you could crop it in whatever software you're using for streaming, and there you go, you have a webcam. So technically that is the cheapest, because more likely everybody has a phone of some sort, right? So iPhones are front cameras. You don't have to do front camera, right? You can do the back camera, and you can just adjust it, and then once you have it on the thing, you know what it looks like, and there you go.
Yeah,
so,
and the newer iPhones do up to 4K 60, so it's like you can have that same butter look that you have with this phone that you already paid probably $1,000 for to begin with.
Exactly.
Maybe less if you have an Android phone of some sort, but you know we don't talk about those people.
No, I don't. Those people don't count.
Blue bubble only. Blue bubble only. So the world of Twitch, streaming, you know, YouTube, Facebook gaming, all that, it's wide, it's broad, it's all over the place, right? There's plenty of different streamers from all walks of life who have different approaches to doing their stream setup, their show, etc. So who do you has the best setup you've seen, the most intricate, most evolved, high tech, etc.?
Myself. No. Obviously like Dr. Disrespect's production level is next level, right? All right. I love what he does, you know, and from my standpoint, I understand how he's doing it. So I can appreciate the creativity and the time and effort he's put in to do this, right? So, you know, I love that stuff. You know, production wise, I'm trying to think. There's some other people, Clone Corp. He's a UK guy. He does like a TV show live, and he incorporates like the audience, like the people's webcams and stuff off a call. So that one's pretty creative because he creates a lot of scenes. Yeah, so he does a lot of that. I mean, a lot of people have their own unique ways, right? So a lot of people focus on, you know, like Dr. Disrespect. It is a full-blown production live.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
he has like the full green screen that comes up. Also, you guys make the Elgato. Not a shameless plug here, but they make this amazing green screen.
And he uses that technology or that, you know, that chroma keying to make himself into different areas, right? The studio, the garage, the outside, whatever. Yeah. So all that stuff is pretty dope, you know. Like I think he's producing something every show, right? Like it is a show. And then, everybody else though, a lot of people have crazy setups. Most of them all use our gear, so that's always like a plus.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, you guys make the best stuff, so it's just
yeah,
a natural thing, right? It's
we're
crazy.
the Apple of streaming, so everybody uses us.
Trusted, reliable people know you. They just, they got you repping the brand, Miguel. You live this life. You're not just some rep. You stream yourself. You have this going on.
Right, yeah. So before Elgato, I was actually streaming full time and stuff on Twitch, Justin TV actually at the time, and then it changed to
OG.
Twitch. So yeah, and I worked at MLG at the same time, so I did that, and I helped the online circuit, so all the streaming stuff, and then started doing consulting, and then Elgato offered me a job, and I was actually one of the first people to get an Elgato review unit only because they sent out in 2012, they sent out a PR press release and it said a capture card the size of a deck of cards. And that just sounded right at the time.
Yeah.
The capture cards were like this big.
Yeah,
right?
they were fat.
This has to be fake. And I'm pretty sure that's everybody that got that said this has to be fake. But I said, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and reach out and see what happens. They sent me the product. I met up with them at E3 2012, told them I loved it, told them how I was using it at the event, and then I built a relationship from there. I was actually their first partner as well. That following event was PAX East. They offered me a partnership. And this was me when I was only at like 5,000 subs. So when a lot of people think you have to have like a lot of subs and stuff to get these partnerships, you really don't. You just have to, present yourself, be ready, and just kind of sort of be yourself and always be organized. So I think, those type of things helped me out. And then a few years later, after being partnered with them, they offered me a job. And so it's cool because I kind of sort of know everything, right? So I know the creator side of things. I know the business side of things. I know the video game industry side of things is I work with EA Sports, Activision, a whole bunch of other companies when it comes to like development or strategies and stuff like that on that side as well. So I have like a full 360 feel for everything. So it's pretty cool.
So then speaking of that, what would be your advice to some young creators?
Be consistent, be organized, and just, I think the biggest thing is people are scared of asking or rejection. And, I always tell people when they ask me, hey, what should I do? Just ask. What are you going to get? A no? You didn't lose anything. It's not like, as long as your ask is realistic, you gave yourself the best shot, right? If you approach a company and say, hey, I love your products, I use them, I just want to be affiliated with you and build a relationship. They say yes, there you go. You got your foot in the door, and then you work and you grow that, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people just think you can just go from 0 to 100 and just be like, oh, everybody's going to send me everything. Oh, I'm going to get a Chipotle free burrito card automatically. Like, you have to like do little steps, baby steps, and everything it's all snowball effect. It's even like that for your views, right? If you're streaming to 5 people, that's a group of people hanging out, right? So those if it's 10 people, that's a club, right? If 30 people, that's a classroom. 50 to 60 people, that's an auditorium full of people. Yeah. That's the way you have to see it. People might say, 50 compared to 2,000, that's nothing. None of those people that have those numbers did it overnight. Not one person. If you take a look at any of them when they first started streaming, Ninja started 8-9 years ago. So
Halo,
Halo. If you look at everybody, it's been a grind. Nobody just started. Nade Shot, for instance, right? He's a well-known one. He started 2009, 2008, something like that. So it's been a solid 10 years, right? So you just have to grind it out. It is a grind, You do have those random blow up over in a month or two because the internet makes them viral. That happens, but just consistency, be organized, and then just be, optimistic, I guess, in the long run.
Be consistent, organized, and optimistic, Miguel. That's solid advice. I think no one ever brings up being organized. Everybody completely goes over the organization tool.
Being organized is appealing in multiple factors, like for a company, for a community manager, right? It doesn't have to be like crazy organized. You don't have to have like Excel sheets or nothing. It's just, simple stuff like I get sent out something still. And to this day, as soon as I get it, I let them know I got it. As soon as I do whatever I agreed to do for it, right? Whether it's a social post or a video, as soon as it goes up, I email it to them. You make that person's life easier and you seem super organized. But you're really just doing your part, So It's simple stuff. You don't have to be crazy. I mean, if you look at my desk, it's a mess. But yeah, everybody would think I'm organized.
Be organized at least with your work.
Yeah, with your work, right? You know, it's one of those things. You know, it goes a long way, though. You know, I think that's what a lot of people, you know, between not being organized and then not seeking out opportunities, right? Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm going to get a no." It's like, what are you really going to lose when you get a no? You really didn't lose anything. You just, you know. And also, some of my no's have turned into yeses, and it's not even by me pushing. It's, you know, I reached out. No, okay, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I always say thank you for your time, and then from that point forward, just kind of sort of, you know, follow up in a few 6 to 7 months just in case. But some of my no's, they would turn around. Hey, you know, you reached out for this, and now we have an opportunity though. You know, a month or two later, and it's okay, cool, yeah, I'm interested. Let's talk it out. So.
All right, Miguel. I don't want to take up too much of time because you are a daddy. You have a kid to watch. You got to do some stuff.
It's probably burning the house down.
I know, right? Downstairs is on fire. Miguel, where can people find you online?
At M Lozada, Mlozada would be on Twitter. That's probably the best one because I never use my Instagram. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And then Twitter's everything else is kind of sort of Twitter is realistically the best means of communicating with anybody, right? Or any interacting. So it's also like a good follow some people from companies you like, talk to them, engage with them, blah blah. You never know. A lot of my opportunities don't even go on the main Elgato account, right? I'll just tweet out something. Hey, looking for somebody that does this. Who's interested or who does this?
Like in 20 minutes you found somebody.
Right. And then boom, you find somebody. So it's also a good way to connect with companies. So.
Okay, well, if you guys have any more questions for Miguel or any questions for us over at 360, you can drop them down below in whatever comment section you're watching this on, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, etc. Miguel, thank you so much for the time. I know this will not be the only one we do together. But oh, nah, he's like, nah, I didn't like this interview. I'm not doing another one ever again.
We'll do as many as you guys want. We can do anything. If people have questions, we can come back to it, talk about partnerships or something. So, right. Definitely.
Okay, man.
All right, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it, man.